Okay, you guys. Now I have a bunch of stuff to tell you. Not really a bunch, but a fair amount. We have a jam next week, and our theme for next week was selected by our mystery guest. And I'm not telling you who that was, but the theme is silly songs. So you really have to think about who's famous for silly songs. It'll be a surprise. And the other option is if you don't want to do a silly song, you can do an Irish song because we're heading into St. Patrick's Day, if that's a holiday that you or your community celebrates. There are some changes on the order of the set list that I sent out, but it has been a movement in progress. And we had a lot of videos this week because a lot of people aren't here. Lori's in Seattle. Carol Crocker's teaching somewhere. Carolyn Brzezinski said she was going to be here in person. Yay. And then Dennis got his computer back, so he's here in person. So there's a shift. I'll just keep posting the music and I'll tell you as we go along because I think it's too complicated to tell you right now. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to tell you is that Carolyn Brzezinski was on the radio yesterday in Connecticut, and she sent me a message saying that I could tune in, and I did. And what a great interview. You know, we think she's great, but now all the people in Connecticut know that she's great because they had a conversation and she played some songs, and it was really exciting, very exciting. Okay, so I'm going to go and move us to a share, which is still not green, Cindy, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, share. And what you should see on your screen now is Aunt Rhody and the video over here. And this is an old No Frills. And I picked it because our theme today is animals. So here we go. Laura, Cindy, let me know if there's no sound. It's not yet. Now.
It's time for No Frills. Today we're revisiting a tune from our very first session, which was a mystery guest piece on Send in the Music, January 1st, 2022. We're going to do Aunt Rhody today. Jean's going to just play it, and I'm going to do whatever happens to strike my fancy each pass. 1, 2, ready, play. 5, 5, 4, 3. I really like turning something into a DAA tuning, playing it on the middle string, because the drone is different. It's a, I just kind of like that. It just adds a little more texture to it. So there's many ways to try Aunt Rhody trying to fetch her goose out of the water to make her quilt. It's such a sad song. It's tragic. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed playing along. We'll see you next time with another redo.
I think the bloopers have to be one of my favorite parts. Not really, but I love it. I love to see them being so silly. And it's nice to see Lori when I know she's not here. So I'm waiting to stop this before. Oh, hold on a second. So this next tune is Kelly Johnson playing Gray Cat on a Tennessee Farm. She's playing it in DAA. And Lori just told us that you can take this bottom line here, if it was DAA, and play it on the middle string to play with DAD tuning. Well, you can do the same thing right now. If you're in DAD, you can play DAA by moving this melody line to the middle string. You'll be playing the melody on the A. So we're doing a little reversal here. Anyway, Kelly's playing it in DAA, and I'm going to go back just a tiny bit so you hear the beginning of her. And this is in a 4/4 timing, which she's used to. Last week was a tough week with turning things into 3/4 timing. I have to unmute myself so you can hear me. Kelly, that was great. And I hope that those of you who played on the middle string did just fine without retuning. Actually, write in the chats if you did okay playing it on the middle string. So Lori is doing a couple more animal songs for us. These are old. This is Bill Grogan's Goat, and it was on 2021. It's a 2021 video, and you'll see she's in a different place, and you know, our video and cameras were not so great, but here we go. Okay, and now we have the first of Lori's
First of many.
the first of Lori's
All right.
contributions.
So I'm going to make you work for this. Everybody, we're going to be singing. I'm keeping my view in gallery, and I'm going to be watching you. Bill Grogan's Goat. Here's a taste of the melody, which will not go like this when we're singing. Won't go like this. how I like to slow things down. Bill Grogan's Goat, great little tune. Do you see all that space with rest? That's your part. You echo what I just said. And great chords, you can just play them simple. Play a D and a G and an A down in the lower register, or you can do as it's written. Here we go. 1, 2. There was a man, now please take note. There was a man who had a goat. He loved that goat. He loved that goat. Indeed he did, just like a kid. One day that goat felt frisk and fine, ate 3 red shirts, right off the line, right off the line. The man, he grabbed him by the back and tied him to the railroad track. Now when that train drove into sight, that goat grew pale and green with fright. He heaved a sigh as if in pain, coughed up those shirts and flagged that train. I sure hope you sang. That's just too much fun to let
that
go by.
was a I have to say that she finished my statement. This is part of the video here. Here she comes now with her second tune for us. Her second animal tune, Froggy Went A Courtin', and this is all chords. You're going to play the D, A, and G. I better start it first.
Hi, here's Froggy Went A Courtin'. I want you to ignore the tab that was in the Dropbox, and let's just play some chords. You got the capo on 3. This is your new nut, and your chords look just like they do if you were playing in D. 310, 200, 101. Think of it that way. Join me. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Froggy went a courtin' and he did right, uh-huh. Froggy went a courtin' and he did right, uh-huh. Froggy went a courtin' and he did right, a sword and a pistol by his side, uh-huh. Went right up to Miss Mousie's door, right up to Miss Mousie's door, Went right up to Miss Mousie's door, where he'd been many times before, Took Miss Mousie right on his knee, Took Miss Mousie right on his knee, Took Miss Mousie right on his knee. Said, Miss Mousie, won't you marry me? Let's play it. than a black-eyed pea. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Froggy went a-courting and he did right. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Froggy went a-courting and he did right. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Froggy went a-courting and he did right. Now Miss Mousie's by his side. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Another uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. One more. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
Oh, that could be another silly song right
Thanks for
there.
playing along.
Lori is so magnetic. She's got a magnetic personality. Okay, I have a second video, and it should be right under here. It is. Okay, and I need to find the music for you. This is a tough tune that Jamie gave us, and it may be something that you're going to need to work on. And so here's what I want to tell you. If you get stuck on it, just hang out on the melody line. Don't worry about the chord parts. Just hang out on the melody line and see if you can play along with her. So here we go.
Hello, Send in the Music friends. Today I'm going to play for you, for the animal-themed jam, a Bach piece called Sheep May Safely Graze. It's one of those pastoral movements that is just laid back and pretty. I have to tell you though, I practiced this for 3 days straight with a metronome, and those 16th and 8th notes in there just messed me up every time. I had a really hard time going back to slowing it down for half notes and quarter notes right afterward. I think I've been playing too many jam tunes. I just want to go fast, fast, fast. So nothing fancy with today's playing. I'm just going to play it through for you once because it's kind of a long piece. There is a repeat, so you repeat the first part. So it's like A, A, B. But it's a lovely piece, and I'm going to try and do it justice. Nothing extra fancy today, but we'll see you around the jam next time. I hope to be back live soon. Bye-bye.
my goodness, that was so good. Hard. Whoops, I have to stop this because Dennis is here in person. I'm delighted to say. So we're going to skip over his videos, but let me remark about, I'm going, look how fast he's playing. Woo-wee, Dennis. Okay, stop right there. Okay, but I wanted to say Jamie's song is beautiful, but it was hard, I'm sure. And I love having music like that in my repertoire because it just, oh, it's just so satisfying. Okay, so let's see. No, Little Fox. This is where we want to be. This is Carol's song because Carol's away traveling too, but she didn't forget us.
It's the Little Fox, and I understand this is a North Carolina folk song. So a little bit of introduction here, and here we go. The fox went out on a chilly night, and he prayed to the moon to give him light. He had a many to go that night before he reached the town. Oh, town, oh, town, oh. He'd many a mile to go that night before he reached the town. Oh, he ran till he came to a great big pit where the ducks and the geese were put therein. A couple of you will grease my chin before I leave this town. Oh, town, oh, town, oh. A couple of you will grease my chin before I leave this town. Oh. He grabbed the gray goose by the neck and threw the whole duck across his back. He didn't mind the quack, 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 and the legs all dangling down. Oh, down, oh, down, oh. He didn't mind the quack, 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 and the legs all dangling down. Oh. Now old Mrs. Flipper Flopper jumped out of bed, and out to the window she cocked her head, crying, John, John, the gray goose is gone, and the fox is all a town. Oh, town, oh, town, oh. Crying, John, oh, John, the gray goose is gone, and the fox is on the town. Oh. He ran till he came to his cozy den. There were his little ones, 8, 9, 10. They said, Daddy, you better go back again. This must be a mighty fine town. Oh, town, oh, town, oh. They said, Daddy, you better go back again. It must be a mighty fine town. Oh. Then the fox and his wife, without any strife, cut up the goose with a fork and knife. They never had such a supper in their life. And then the bones of bones of bones of. They never had such a supper in their life. And the little one chews on the bones of. How did that last verse? A fox and his wife, without any strife, cut up the goose with a fork and knife. They never had such a supper in their life, and the little ones chewed on the bones of, bones of, bones of. They never had such a supper in their life, and the little ones chewed on the bones of. The story of the Little Fox.
Well, she gave us all of those lyrics too, in case you want to sing it while you're playing along with her melody there. And I'm going to stop, let me see, I stopped that because that's the end of that. And I'm going to stop my share because we have a mystery guest here. So let me just tell you this kind of quickly, and that is that I told you that at Mount Dora, I made the rounds looking for new mystery guests, and I heard this lady play her instrument, and I'm going to leave that as a surprise for a minute, with Mark Allen Wade at the concert. And oh my goodness, it was amazing. It was an amazing piece. And afterwards, the next day, she's in a vendor area, and I went up and I said, would you be interested in being a mystery guest for us? And she said, I would love it. And so Brenda Mangan is here today, and Brenda plays the mountain dulcimer, but her primary instrument is the bowed psaltry. And so we're going to learn about the bowed psaltry today. Brenda, nice to see you. We've got
Hello.
we've got you unmuted now. And I want to welcome you, and I want to tell you that we are all ears. We can't wait to see and hear. But remind me, the piece that you played with Mark Allen Wade, was that not a Bach piece also?
It was On Wings of Song, Mendelssohn's On Wings of Song,
Oh,
that I
Mendelssohn.
played with
Yeah, I knew
Mark.
it was a classical piece and it was
It was.
gorgeous. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, Brenda, tell us about yourself and your instruments, and we're all ears.
Thank you.
Cindy,
Thank you.
can you take me? Oh, there you go. Okay.
Thank you. And yes, Pat accosted me down in Florida, happily so. And I'm really thrilled and thankful to be here. So thank you. My journey did start with the mountain dulcimer, and this is I was counting it up. This guy is about 43 or 44 years old, and I bought him from the maker. So I've been playing since I was quite young. You see my little guy up here isn't that gorgeous? I call him Chief Gotta Listen because he's gotta listen. So, um, so I started with the mountain dulcimer, and the guy who taught me was doing a Foothills Heritage Festival weekend. I live in the upstate of South Carolina, when we're right nestled in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountain. And so the tradition that he taught was how it relates to the Scotch Irish. And you play the melody with the drone. And that's like the chanter and the drone pipes of the bagpipes. And that's one reason why I like to keep it in its traditional form. If you'll notice, my frets are all the original traditional no half frets in there, because that's how it was meant to play with what they call DAA, although that was backwards to me, because the fellow who taught me that you tune the melody string to this, and then the middle string to the same, and then the bass is the fifth. So you tune it to and the mountain people didn't have tuners, so they just knew that interval of and then of course that meant that your do re mi scale started on the third fret. So you have the do re mi fa half step, la ti, and then another half step back to do. And so that's the traditional tuning, and I still play it that way. And the first time I ever went to a mountain dulcimer festival was much later, after I'd been playing, and I was kind of distressed to see that the DAA tuning was kind of falling out of favor. And so at this particular festival, it was one of the ones that have a contest, and I entered the contest just so I could have the stage to illustrate the Notre Drone style, and I came in third place. So that tickled me very much. So I just want to play something just to illustrate why you want your noter, and you want it sliding across and twanging. And again, this is the traditional style, not to say that any of the newer styles are wrong or anything, but for the traditional style, you want your noter to hit every one of these frets. And that's why if you do have you don't want to have a half fret if you're playing in the Notre Drone traditional style, because you will hear that out of key fret as you twang across it. So I'm just going to play a little something here. So that's just a sample of how the traditional method is and how it really evokes the bagpipes when you hear those drones playing against the melody.
So,
Um,
so what I noticed when you were playing, Brenda, is that you actually slid your noter above the very first fret instead of taking it off the fret when you were playing an open
I did,
string.
and thank you for
Yeah,
noticing that. I actually have what you would think of as a zero fret right in front of the bridge, so that I can get that twang from the get-go rather than
right.
I can start here and go, and you hear it twang. Are you hearing it through the internet?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I do rather than just and then picking it up and putting it down,
right,
I,
right.
I slide it all the way. And if you see, and you occasionally come across them, and this is original how mine came from the maker, you'll see some that have that zero fret, and I feel like that's why they put it there. So yeah, yes. And another thing about twanging across the frets, here's another song that can really illustrate using the twang when you don't want to have such a rambunctious strum pattern. This is Shall We Gather at the River. And notice I'm going to do a on the beat, but you're going to hear the notes in between the beats. So did you see how often you heard a note because I was twanging across it versus strumming? And so that's another reason why, and again, I'm not saying it's wrong, but if you want to play the traditional style, you don't want to have the half frets. A lot of people say, well, put the half fret anyway, and you can just not use it. But when you're sliding, you're going to hear every fret. And so that's just my little attempt of saying let's not completely abandon the traditional mountain dulcimer. It's wonderful that we have the half frets. Now we've got the chromatic ones. How amazing are those? But let's kind of embrace these also. But it does have the drawback that if you have a song that's got accidentals in it, you can't play it because there are no steps, there are no notes beside what's just in the key that you're playing in, right? So, my father had, when I started playing music, and obviously this is 40 something years old, I was a teenager, a young baby when I started playing. And when I started playing music, my dad had a song that was his favorite that he wanted me to play. And it's called Sweet Genevieve. And it's got accidentals all over. It's got accidentals upon accidentals, and you can't do that in a mountain dulcimer. So that was part of what led me to looking for a different instrument that could accommodate that. So Sweet Genevieve is, so actually my grandma bought me these books, Melodies of Days Gone By, and this book is from the 1960s, and so they were already Days Gone By in the 1960s. So these were old songs. And this one, Sweet Genevieve, if you can see that, all the accidentals. There's a C sharp. It's in the key of B flat major.
Oh, wow.
So you would have B and E flat in it, but it's got a C sharp, then it goes C sharp, C natural, then it says, oh, let's play a B natural instead of B. So it's all over the place outside of the key that the song's in. And so I'm going to turn my camera around and show you the bowed psaltry and why it is so perfectly the instrument for playing something like this. So the bowed psaltry is an instrument that looks like this. And when I first saw it, I knew immediately this is the thing, because all along here are your white or natural notes. And if you notice the 2, 3, 2, 3, that's like the black notes on a piano. So like your chromatic dulcimer, the bowed psaltry has every single note that's on a piano, so you can play any key you want anytime. You can slide accidentals in there without even batting an eye. And that's one of the things that I do love about this instrument. Plus, it's got such a ethereal sound to it, I feel like, that I just really loved it the first time I heard it. So the first song I want to play for you is actually Sweet Genevieve. And again, it's in B flat, which is, we got B flat, E flat. So that's our... But then if you'll watch, or if you've just got a good ear, you can hear that we're having accidentals all over the place. And I like to think of it as when the person who wrote this song accidentally put a bunch of notes that were not in this key. So that's why they call them accidentals. All right, so here's Sweet.
Brenda, would you tell us about your double bows and how, because I've
Oh,
mostly seen people play the bowed psaltery with one bow.
Yeah, let me just talk to you a second about that. I can do that. So I do play with two bows. Let me just get this here so you can see. So a lot of people will just play with one bow and kind of get the idea that two bows are if you want to play harmony, which I do often. But also I can jump around and get around the instrument a little bit easier. And I'll have new students who will ask me or say that, I eventually want to play with two bows, but I think I need to start with one first. And I just look at them kindly and say, yes, because when you learned to walk, didn't you start with one foot first? And then when you got good at that, you added your other foot? So I use two bows almost all the time to help me navigate around versus having to jump from one note to the other. Let's turn it around and see this. As you can see, it is laid out like a piano. If you turn it sideways, these are the lower notes and these are the higher notes. And as I said, these are your two sharps, or your C sharp, E flat, F sharp, A flat, B flat, and so on, like on a piano. And whenever you have a large jump, like this song is going to start out with, that's the first two notes. And I could jump like that, or I can use my two bows and just go. And so I tell people I play with two bows because I'm lazy, and it's just easier to do this than... So, yes, I do play with two bows unless I just absolutely can't, and there's some reason that I can't. So here's Sweet Genevieve, and if, like I said, if you have an ear, you can hear all the accidentals that are all over the place in this song. So that is Sweet Genevieve. It's a nice old song from like in the 1930s and 40s when you had a lot. It's older than that, but it kind of got really popular in the 30s and 40s when like barbershop quartets were singing, and they would sing that real kind of schmaltzy. And I think you can kind of picture this as barbershop quartet song. So that was like a key song in getting me to find a new instrument that I eventually got led to both psaltries. So that little song there is the one that push that up since I'm not playing the mountain dulcimer anymore. So that little song was a key part of my journey. Another song that I would like to play next, because we were doing animal things, right? So I was thinking of what kind of songs might have animals in them. And one that I also love is R.L.E. And a lot of people recognize it because, Elvis Presley made the tune popular with Love Me Tender, but a lot of people don't realize that it's not exactly Love Me Tender. And the same set of books that my grandma got me, the Melodies from Days Gone By, that's from the 1960s, was R.L.E. And I played it and I thought, wow, it's got a little part in there that's really different than Love Me Tender. And I like to play it because it kind of surprises you a little bit with that when you get to the R.L.E. part or the Love Me Tender, Love Me True part, whichever one you're going to really think about. So this is R.L.E. And with this one, I am going to be playing the harmony, and the harmony of it has some accidentals in it. And then when we get to the R.L.E., you're going to really hear what's a little different than Love Me Tender. So, what did you think about that little deviation from the way we think about it because of how Elvis Presley did it? That R.L.E. part gives it a little kind of haunting, somber flavor to it. And it's not surprising then that this was a favorite Civil War ballad on both sides because it really has that feeling of I'm missing my R.L.E. and I'm missing home. And it does tie into the animal theme because the words are, as the blackbird in the spring, blackbird, 'Neath the willow tree, sat and piped, I heard him sing, sing of our Lee. So, there we go. The animals are there. Um, and next I'd like to play for you. I've started getting very interested in old songs and Celtic songs. And I came across this book, The Ancient Music of Ireland. And it was collected by Edward Bunting in the 1700s. The tradition of harpists traveling around Ireland was starting to die out. And some of you may have heard of O'Carolan, the famous blind harpist. He was one, and they passed their music along just by teaching each other. They didn't have any of it written down. And the tradition was, as I said, starting to die out. And so a group of musicians, and Edward Bunting was one of them, realized we're about to lose these songs because none of them are written down anywhere. And so in 1792 in Belfast, Ireland, they had a big gathering of the harpists. And Edward Bunting sat there with pen and paper and the lines, the 5 lines of your staff, and just was, dotting it down as the harpists were playing. And that just baffles me, that how you could write that down while someone's playing the song. But he was able to do that. And so I've been taking these songs, and they're quite complicated pieces of music, just as an example. They look like that. And so I've been taking them and pulling the melody out and arranging for the bowed psaltry. And this one is called The Hornless Cow. So, animals, hornless cow. And I like this one because it's got kind of a lumbering rhythm to it. You can kind of feel this cow just plodding along through the fields and across the hills and valleys and things. So here is The Hornless Cow. Okay, that's the hornless cow there. So next, I'd like to introduce you to another bowed psaltry. I know a lot of people, the high tone can hurt your ear. I love the high tone of the bowed psaltry, but this is a Masterworks, and it is my regular one, but it is high pitched. I love it. The first time I heard one, I thought it was so ethereal and angelic. I just knew this is the instrument the angels in heaven are playing. That's just my love for this one is so amazing. But for those who don't necessarily appreciate the really high pitch, Masterworks also makes a baritone version. It's the exact same body, but it has wound wire strings on it. So it's an exact, it's an octave lower, and it's just got a more mellow, deeper tone to it. And so the next song, this one song, I end up having songs that I love to play on one instrument or the other. I feel like it belongs on this instrument or that one. And so this next song I really think belongs on the baritone with the deeper mellow voice. So this song is called Caves of Cong, and it is also from Edward Bunting's book of the Ancient Songs of Ireland. Cong is a town in Ireland. It's a small town. My husband and I have been there, but we didn't know about the caves at the time because they had closed them down. They weren't advertising them. They didn't want people going in. There's said it was for safety problems. And so to connect this to our animal theme, I think there's probably some kind of cave cryptid animals, like there's the Loch Ness Monster. There's probably some Caves of Kong animal in this cave. And so that's why they don't let people in there anymore. So anyway, this is the Caves of Kong. So there you have the Caves of Cong. And if you ever go to Ireland, Cong is such a sweet little town. And if you know the movie with John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara of The Quiet Man, that was all filmed in Cong. And that's why we were there, because I was just fangirling about that movie all over the place, the sights and everything that they had for that. And next, I'd like to play Roslyn Castle. It's another baritone song. My husband and I are going to Scotland next week. We're going to be there next week. I'm going to be in Roslyn. And Roslyn Castle is right next door to Roslyn Chapel of the Da Vinci Code. If y'all know the book and the movie that came out, was a big hit some years ago. Well, the castle is where the St. Clairs lived, who built the Roslyn Chapel. And this song kind of has a spooky kind of feel to it. And I'm trying to tie everything back to the animals. Okay, so it's got this spooky feel to it. And when I play this song, I feel like, okay, we're walking around this castle that's in ruins now, and there's these broken down walls, and I'm hearing something around the corner, and I'm walking down this corridor, and what is it? I kind of hope it's an animal and not something else. So that's how I'm tying this in with animals. So this is the Roslyn Castle.
quick question for you,
Okay.
Brenda.
Yes.
When you're getting the dynamics, is it because you're pressing harder on the bows, or how do you get that change in
Yes.
tone?
There's two ways to get your dynamics with your bows, and one is press harder, and one is bow a little faster.
Uh,
If you press too hard, you will get the that sound. that
uh,
If you've been to dulcimer festivals where there are bowed psaltry players, the very kind ones like Marco and Wade might tell this joke. How many bowed psaltry players does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, but it sounds like So yes, dynamics are with the pressure, but you gotta be careful with it. So you also, the speed will also help make it a little bit louder too.
yeah.
And the baritone, something about the wound wire strings, it's easier to get a um, greater amount of dynamic softness and loudness with the wound strings. So that's another reason that the baritone is very lovely. So,
Well,
and
thank you.
speaking
Yeah.
of lovely,
Yes.
when I first got my baritone, there's one of my very favorite songs is "O Shenandoah." And if you've ever heard Tennessee Ernie Ford sing it, that deep voice of his, oh my goodness. So when I got my baritone, I knew the first song I played was "O Shenandoah." So for my last song, um, "O Shenandoah," and just picture Tennessee Ernie Ford.
Oh, Brenda, that was
So
haunting.
there you have it. Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
haunting.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Somebody's asked, there are questions in the chats when you're finished, you might want to look at them because I
Hmm.
can't answer them. They want to know if there's rosin on the bow, like a violin. Where do you get the
Yes.
bows? Where do you get the stand to play with two bows? So there's questions there. And the other thing I want to say is Brenda does not have a website, right?
No,
She
I don't.
she
Yes,
she said,
Pat did tell me you can promote yourself and all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't have a website.
well,
I do have
she
two
said,
books,
it's just me, is what she said. It's just me.
and I struggle with technology, so I do have two books though. This was my first book. It's got the shiny page protector thing. So this has like 50 books, 50 songs in it. Just some old ones. Soon May the Weatherman Come. And I have each song twice. And I have it with up bow and down bow symbols that help you to maneuver around. And so the reason I have it twice is like this one is just noted for if you're playing it with one bow. And then this one is noted for if you're playing it with two bows. It's got an up bow, down bow, and then an L or R for it's your right hand or your left hand. So this book is available on Mark Allen Wade's website, or if you want to just buy it straight from me and email me, and we can do PayPal. And then I have, this is my newest one. I had it out this Christmas, and it's got 20 songs in it. And what I like about this one, and I think my next book I'm going to do even more, is in the back I have duets and harmonies. So you could play with different, you could play two people, or if you are good enough and can get your bows playing harmony together, we've got some of that. So, and these could be played with one instrument, and like it doesn't have to be two-bowed psaltries, because like Pat said, Mark Allen Wade and I played on Wings of Song, and it's, if you don't know it, it's a beautiful, like, flowing melody, and then there's all these arpeggiated stuff going on in the background, and that's of course what Mark did on his hammered dulcimer. And if I say so myself, it really sounded pretty together to have a bowed psaltery kind of singing the melody with that hammered dulcimer just going away in the background. So if you're interested in the books, Mark Allen Wade has them on his website. If you want a cool t-shirt, Salt of the Earth is what my books are. The Salt of the Earth Christmas, and then just the Salt of the Earth that has the 50 different songs in it. You can just email me.
Brenda, maybe you could put your email, in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so you do need to take a look at that, and because there are other questions for you. Brenda, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you all for having me.
It was lovely to meet you and to learn about the bowed psaltery. You did a wonderful job of introducing your instrument, and the love for your instrument is evident.
I do. I absolutely am in love with this instrument.
Yeah,
I really am.
Okay, so I am going to move on. I have another treat for you guys. This is a video. I'm going to share my screen first. Okay, and I don't want to take that off of there. Let me see. I'm thinking about how best to do this for you. Maybe I'll just try and see what we get. Right here. This is a video of Colleen Kennedy. She wrote an original song that she performed. And let me see if I can get that behind her out of the way so you just see her. I'll just open it up again. Anyway, this is a song that she wrote and performed at Dulcimer U this summer, and it is absolutely delightful, and it is about her cat. So it fits the bill. Colleen, I hope you're here. And here we go. Let me know, Cindy, if you don't hear it.
Thankful to be here, and not only to thank Larry and Elaine and call Kathy, and also dear Mike. It's just marvelous to be here. But I would never have known about Dulcimer U had it not been for Pat Clark here. And every week through Dulcimer, through sending the music, I have been inspired and just encouraged by hearing wonderful performers and then being able to come here and study with them. So, as part of that, I hope, inspiration, I would like to bring you today what I'm calling a song-a-logue. Think of a monologue with some music. It's about a situation. He peed in the box, he did the right thing, he made me so happy I wanted to sing. My little black cat had a problem. I'll tell you his name, there's no need for shame. He's not an A-lister, his name is just Mister. My little black cat with a problem. You see, with a friend and no strife. They both lost their home, Mr. Ross left alone. My little black cat had a problem. He came home with me, and what did he see? 4 other cats staring. He thought they were glaring. My little black cat had a problem. It took quite a while before he could cope. He sure was a pain, but I never lost hope. For my little black cat with a problem. And now he pees in the box. He does the right thing. He makes me so happy, I just have to sing. My good little black cat named Mister.
Oh my goodness, that delights me every time that I see it or hear that song. Just delightful. Okay, now I have to get back in shape here. I have to stop my share here. Wasn't that great? Is she here? Is Colleen here today? I didn't see her. Well, she's going to have to look at the video and catch up on what we thought of her. So words of encouragement are always nice to hear, and I just think she's very special. Okay, back to work, you guys, back to work. I have to go here and here and here. Uh-oh. What is that? I'm sharing my screen, but that does not look like what I want to share. So hold on a second. I have to reopen my Fourscore. I should do what Colleen says. La da 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 da. Okay. Let me see. I have to quit that first. Fourscore is very fussy. It won't open there. Okay, now it's open. And I want this box to go around this music. This is always a challenge to get my cursor in just the right place to make it move. Okay, we're getting somewhere. There we go. And the next person that we're going to hear from is Kelly Sassman. And she should be right there. There she is. You know, she's in Florida. See her tan?
I'm in your home state, yeah.
Okay. Oh, there's Colleen. I
Yes.
put that in there so I would remember to show her video because I didn't have anything else. Okay, so here you are, and tell me if I'm right. Tell me if I'm right about this. Are you playing Dave Haas's version?
I am. Some
Okay.
people have that version.
So what
but
I want to
this
tell
works.
people is that you, and I've said this before, you can play versions by different people together at the same time. And I could not publish Dave Haas's music and give it to you, but this is music that I could share with you. And so you've got Laurie Alsterbrook's arrangement of this that should fit nicely. And I just want to check if this is no, it's not 2 pages.
just
One
one.
page. Ah, yay. Okay. Kelly,
All right,
take
so-
it away.
All of that, everybody should have been able to get their capo 3 on. All right, here we go.
You know what we didn't tell people when you started to play this? This is a crooked song. And it's crooked because it has different time signatures. It keeps changing the time signature throughout the song. Sometimes it's 4/4, sometimes it's six beats to a measure, sometimes it's 4 beats to a measure, and that's what makes it challenging to play.
Okay. Well, the way Dave Haas has it written, I think it's. Oh no, he does have a 5/4, but otherwise he's got 4/4. So I just took a class and learned it with him. So.
Well,
Hear it.
but it's worth
It's
it's
written
worth
hard.
mentioning to people that it is difficult because it's
It
crooked.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is,
So-
but it's fun.
Yeah, it is. It's a great song. Okay, and you've got another song for us. And after this song, I'm just telling Chris Kitko she's next. I promised her that I would tell her that. Okay,
So
You-
Forked Deer.
this is Forked. Oh, wait a second.
Forked Deer.
yeah,
It is
Forked
called
Deer.
Forked Deer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this
so
is
again.
you're
go
playing Dave Haas's, and this is Lori
No.
Alistair Brooks. No.
No, I'm not playing Dave's. I'm just playing what I memorized with
Oh.
like some together. So.
Okay.
But it's like that, and I'm gonna go slower, and then I'll play it a little, maybe a little faster, but different. And I forgot to put my. I'm sorry, I forgot to put this down the other time. So, all right. So Forked Deer.
That's another really great song and fun to
Fun.
play. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question in the chats, is that your new dulcimer?
It is. It is. I got to go to my first festival on the way to Florida here and meet Pat in person and that, and I bought a new dulcimer.
Yeah.
Can't find it by me, so yeah.
It sounds lovely.
Thank you.
And thanks for sharing with us today.
Thanks for
Kelly
letting
picked
me-
up it. She offered one song and I said, "Oh, could you do two?" And she said, "Yes, I can." So, thank you. Okay, we've got Chris. Now, Chris has been ill this week, and we were touch and go about whether she was going to get here, but she did. Remember, Chris was our mystery guest last week, and she's got a tune for us. Chris, can you hear me?
I can. Can
Oh,
you
perfect.
hear me?
Yes. Yes. Okay.
How's the camera and all that stuff?
Perfect. You're perfect.
Well, good. Okay. Well, I tabbed this out a few months ago and glad to be able to do it. Thanks for having me. And as Pat said, if I end up starting to cough, I'll just stop singing, but I'll keep playing. So I'll probably sound about as good as one of these farm animals I'm singing about here. But we'll start with the cow, the pig, and then the horse. And if my foot stomping gets to be a bit much, just let me know and I'll stop. All right, so 1, 2, here we go. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had a cow, E-I-E-I-O. With a moo-moo here and a moo-moo there, here a moo, there a moo, everywhere a moo-moo. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And now a pig, and here we go. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had a pig, E-I-E-I-O. With an oink oink here and an oink oink there, here an oink, there an oink, everywhere an oink oink. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And now for a horse, here we go. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had a horse, E-I-E-I-O. With a neigh neigh here and a neigh neigh there, here a neigh, there a neigh, everywhere a neigh neigh. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Couldn't resist that part at the end.
Oh, that was fun and spirited, I have to say. No one would ever know you were under the weather. Thank you so much. Thanks, Chris, an awful lot.
Thank
So
you.
I'm looking at the chats, and Michelinda said, "Where's the music for Elk River?" And I have to apologize because I just realized when I was moving music around that I hadn't put that in there. I'll put it in the chats for you, okay? I'm sorry about that. Okay, we're going to Connecticut.
Ah,
Hi, Carolyn.
hi.
Here's another very, very busy, busy, busy lady. We are her second shift for the day, and she's got a third shift coming up. But we are so happy to have you, Carolyn.
And I wouldn't be Saturday without sending the music. So this first, it's The Cat Came Back. Is that the first one?
Yes, Cat came
Okay.
back. Yep.
So this song I learned when I first started playing guitar in elementary school. And I learned it from, there was a kids show on TV called The Electric Company. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Yeah, I see nods. I had no idea how old it was until I tabbed it. And I didn't tab it. I made the lead sheet for sending the music. I sang it to my kids every night at bedtime, and they used to call it the kitty cat song. Sing kitty cat song. So these words are different than the ones I sang. So if I sing some of the words that aren't in this lead sheet, that's why. But I decided to do the lead sheet, I guess because I was kind of lazy. Well, it's also much easier to play chords when you're singing and not have to worry about tab. So I do have the forms, the shapes for each chord that I'm playing. The A minor 101, a G is 0 on the melody, 1 on the middle, 3 on the bass, and E minor is 111, and that's through the whole song. So just strum along. I should have my camera set right. I did that I didn't do it in advance, did I? Oh, hang on. Video. OBS. I will, minute. Give me start virtual camera. There it is. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay. I had to find the key. Old Mr. Johnson, he had troubles of his own. He had an old yellow cat that wouldn't leave his home. He tried everything he knew to keep the cat away. He even sent it to the preacher and he told him for to stay. But the cat came back, couldn't stay no longer. Yes, the cat came back the very next day. Yes, the cat came back. Thought she were a goner, but the cat came back, for it wouldn't stay away. Away across the ocean they did send the cat at last. vessel only out a day and making water fast. People all began to pray, the boat began to toss, when another vessel came along and took the people off. But the cat came back, couldn't stay no longer. Yes, the cat came back the very next day. Yes, the cat came back, thought she were a goner, but the cat came back, for it wouldn't stay away. On a telegraph wire, sparrows sitting on a bunch. Cat, feeling hungry, thought she'd like him for a lunch. Climbing softly up the pole, and when she reached the top, put her foot on the electric wire, which tied her in a knot. But the cat came back, couldn't stay no longer. Yes, the cat came back the very next day. Yes, the cat came back, thought she were a goner, but the cat came back, for it wouldn't stay away. While the cat was sleeping and resting for a day, round came an organ grinder, and he began to play. The cat looked around while and kinda raised her head when he played tarada, tarada, boom, da, and the cat dropped dead. How sad. And this last chorus was not in the original version at all. But its ghost came back to tell you all about it. Yes, its ghost came back between you and I. Its ghost came back. Maybe you will doubt it, but its ghost came back just to bid them all goodbye. 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 The cat came back.
Another silly song that would
Very
work for
silly,
next,
very
yes, work for next week as well.
Yes. All right.
Okay, now this is another interesting tune.
Yeah, and I'm not going to sing it. It's just, I don't know if I sang it the first time I did it on Sending the Music 4
No,
years ago.
You didn't, because
Yeah.
I don't have the
So
lyrics.
it was a little tricky. So it's just a verse, and that's it. It's a fiddle tune that I found. Jaybird died of whooping cough, sparrow died of a colic. Long come a redbird skipping around saying, boys, get ready for the frolic. I don't know what any of that means, but all right. It's a little tricky. Capo 3. I'll try to do it kind of slow. 1, 2. I'll do it one more time.
Wait a minute. Go slower, Carolyn, please.
Yeah, I think I started it slow, and my fingers just run away from me. I'll try it real slow. One more. It was a little slower. It's very reminiscent of Spotted Pony.
Yes, it is, but that was better. That was a
Good.
better pace.
Do you need to hear it one more time?
You were like, yeah, do it one more time.
Okay, all right, here it goes. Notice I don't strum because it gets too muddy. Yeah,
Yeah.
Just picking one string at a time is perfect for this. It's about all I can handle.
Oh,
All right.
and we're not, and if you can't handle it, neither can we. Okay. And Carolyn's got one more.
Stew Ball, another really, really old song. At the bottom of this, it says Skew Ball, I think was the original name of the horse, a British racehorse, back in the 1700s. But at some point it got changed to Stew Ball. And whenever I perform this, I always you'll recognize Merry Christmas War is Over from John Lennon. He used a similar melody. Old Stew Ball was a racehorse, and so this is Christmas. So, okay, I'm just gonna strum. You could just play chords, it makes it easier, or just play chord melody. Old Stew Ball was a racehorse, and I wish he were mine. He never drank water, he always drank wine. His bridle was silver, his mane it was gold, and the worth of his saddle has never been told. Oh, the fairground was crowded, and Stew Ball was there, but the betting was heavy on the bay and the mare. And way up yonder, ahead of them all, came a dancing and prancing my noble Stew Ball. I bet on the gray mare, I bet on the bay. If I'd bet on old Stew Ball, I'd be free man today. Oh, the hoot owl she hollers, and the turtle dove moans. I'm a poor girl in trouble, I'm a long way from home. Old Stew Ball was a racehorse, and I wish he were mine. He never drank water, he only drank wine. Stew Ball.
Oh, thank you, Carolyn. Thanks so
Sure.
much. So wonderful. Okay, and guess where we're going now? We're going to California. And here's Dennis. I saw Dennis yesterday at Lori's Jam, and I said, Dennis, do you want to play your songs in person since you got your computer back? And he said, well, and he decided overnight that he would do it in person. So we are glad to see you, Dennis.
Yeah, well, Pat's a hard sell.
Sometimes I am, yes. But thank you for agreeing to do it. You've got two delightful tunes for us.
I hope so. And when it comes to, animals, the topic, well, animals, my stuff. I have restructured my yard so that it's perfect lizard habitat. We've got alligator lizards, you've got this western fence lizards, and there are even these slender salamanders that live out here that just kind of live in the dirt cracks. Well, anyway, rattlesnake. So I think I'll see how close I can go to the paper here for the first one anyway, because when it gets to the last several measures, I tend to ad lib. All right. Yeah, everybody, one more line through. Oh, rattlesnake, what makes your teeth so white? I've been living in the bottom all my life, and I ain't done nothing but bite. No, I ain't done nothing but bite. Muskrat, oh muskrat, what makes you smell so bad? I've been living in the bottom all my life, and I'm mortified in my head. Well, I'm mortified in my head. Well, groundhog, oh groundhog, what makes your back so brown? I wonder I don't satisfy. It's a wonder I don't smother fire from living down in the ground. From living down in the ground. Oh rooster, what makes your claws so hard? I've been scratching and scrapping all my days. It's a wonder I ain't tired. It's a wonder I ain't tired. Well, jaybird, oh jaybird, what makes you fly so high? I've been robbing your corn patch all my life. It's a wonder I don't die. It's a wonder I don't die. Just so I can get another critter in here. Oh copperhead, what makes your teeth so white? I've been living in the bottom all my life, and I ain't done nothing but bite. No, I ain't done nothing but bite. No, I ain't done nothing but bite. No, I ain't done nothing but bite.
I loved it, Dennis. That's such a great song.
I know.
Yes, it is. And you have another great song for us. And
Okay.
okay, let's see. I thought there were 2 pages to this. I mustn't.
There
I know.
are.
Yeah, there are. And you
There
know
are
what?
lists.
I didn't move the second one. Hold on a sec.
Oh.
Here it is, right here. Okay. Now I have it. Okay, so this is the first page, and this is the second page, right? That's the break.
The break. We will start with the break.
Okay. Is that, you start with the break and then go to the other one, and then go
Yep.
back to the break?
Or
no?
maybe we'll have memorized the break by then and not have to go back to it. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
hold on a second, then I'm going to move this up. Okay, we are ready.
Okay. Well, one of the earliest memories that I have is of being in Illinois on some family trip, and I was walking around out in the grass, and I looked down, and there was this snake that just kind of slid past. It disappeared instantly into the grass where it came from. And it's one that I didn't recognize the kind of snake, though I was like a 5-year-old snake expert. And I have that memory, though it might not be accurate, but at least it's a fun memory. And in fact, I've seen lots of snakes in my life, and they're always totally fascinating to me. But Emily Dickinson made up a poem called, well, wasn't called anything, it was just untitled. But it starts off with the words "a narrow fellow," so I thought I'd entitle it with that. And I see here that let's see, in February of 1866, the Springfield Daily Republican presented the thing with the title of "The Snake," which kind of ruins the whole effect of the poem, because you're supposed to be able to get that. And in fact, my wife, a poet, says that if you have to tell everybody what the subject of the poem is, you kind of lost the point of doing the poem to begin with. But anyway, there's that. And then a note here, a person named Daniel Hoffman called this phrase "zero to the bone" the finest image in American poetry. I guess I kind of have to agree, because when you see snakes, they're different, and they kind of startle you. But I kind of live on the startling. All right, anyway. Now, something else I thought about this was that snakes kind of bop around. They're a surprise. They seem to need a calypso rhythm to go with them. So that's why we're doing a calypso rhythm with this one. Now I've got to get Rattlesnake out of my head. Oh, here, I got it. It's out. All right, on the break it goes from here. Then again. And now, the melody part's kind of simple, because you just have I have my middle finger down on the 3rd fret of the middle string, or my index finger down on that. Then I put my ring finger down on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, and to get the first few notes, so it's goes into the break. So let's try a verse. A narrow fellow in the grass occasionally rides. You may have seen him, did you not? His notice sudden is. The grass divides as with a comb, a spotted shaft is seen. And it closes at your feet and opens further on break. like say poggy acre, ache for too cruel for corn. Yet when a child and barefoot I more than once had mourned, had passed I thought a whiplash unbraiding in the sun, and stooping to secure it, it wrinkled and was gone. Well, several of nature's people I know, and they know me. I feel of them a transport of cordiality. Never met this fellow, attentive or alone, without a tighter breathing than zero at the bone. Last break. Ooh, it takes me back.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis, so much especially for performing live today.
Yeah, that's one poem that absolutely needed to have a tune to it. So
Was great. Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Okay, I have a couple of songs for you today. Let me see, and I'll tell you what my thinking was on this. This is my dulcimer. Well, that's weird. Whoop! Uh-oh. I just lost my thing behind me, so that's pretty funny. Okay, so I have Lori's version of Old Yeller Dog, and then following it, I have Martha Einen's version of Old Yellow Dog, which is more complicated. And I thought we'd start with this one, and if you're comfortable, you can stay there, or if you're brave, you can go on with me to this next one, okay? So there is a repeat. There's an A, repeat that, and then there's a B, and we repeat that. And I hope I can play well for you. Well for you today. Okay, so this is Old Yeller Dog, and it's kind of a cute little tune. I've got it. I've lost it already. Start again. Now we repeat. going to play that B part again because, you know, there's a lot of space in there. And if you're strumming, you can fill in those spaces with your strums. But if you're finger picking, you can just add extra notes in between them. So it's like, okay, so that's the simple part of the song. Now we're playing the same song right here, only this time we've got eighth notes and we've got a lot of extra notes. You could just hang out on the melody line here, although every now and then it goes up, or you can stay back here, they'll go together perfectly fine. Okay, so Old Yeller Dog in a little more complicated version. Repeat. I missed my beat already. 2, 3. I think that song is fun. It's a lot of fun to play, and especially if you can jump it around for sure. I have one more tune for you, and this is Karen McCraw's version of The Blackest Crow. Crow is also an animal. Let me move down this way so you can see both of my hands. And I tried to play this yesterday. Karen, I worked on it, and let's see if I've got it better today. One more. my goodness. Yes, kudos definitely to Karen for that one. And I'm just going to have to, before I go and put my camera back, I'm going to have to pick up my thing in the back. Let me see. What am I doing? I'm stopping my share and I'm coming over here to my gallery view. But give me 1 second to hold my wall back up. Cindy, can you talk for a second?
Mike put in the chat about Brian having a class coming up, and you might want to check that out. He said it was too much to write it all down, so he put the website on there. Those were beautifully played, Pat.
You're going to see it's all askew. I have made a mess of my thing. Let me see. Here I am.
That's okay. You have a
So,
pretty
look at
kitchen.
we fell down. And I put it up there because my husband goes into the kitchen to eat all the time, and the kitchen is right behind me. I was on the other day with Mike and Cindy, and Jim is in there eating, and they're saying, "Hi, Jim," but he couldn't hear them because I had my earbuds in. Anyway, listen, that was a fun day, don't you think? In spite of all the videos, I think we did pretty good. And I thought the songs, nice choice of songs, lots of fun ones. Next week, our theme is funny songs, silly songs, or Irish tune. And we have a mystery guest. And Mike Hale said, oh, he thought it was Little Rev, but it's not Little Rev. So back to the drawing board, trying to guess who it is. Hey, I'll see you guys next week. It's good, always good to see you all. Have a good week, a safe week. And if you want to be a song leader, please let me know, because you know I'm always looking for song leaders. And I might just have to twist your arm. No, I wouldn't do that. I'll stop my recording right there.